we want to welcome everybody here.
Everything all at once?
Everything all at once.
It's honestly a sensation.
Aliens listen to it.
It would be sad, but you gotta have some kind of stuff to make you feel.
Yeah.
Came here to grieve. I'm just mad.
Something's got to bring out that emotion that I've buried deep down inside. You know what I mean? Really pushed down.
I just
so far.
I hope I don't have a seizure looking at your sweater. I'm gonna. Just
From it flashing?
That's just seizure warning sweater.
Oh, okay. I'll make sure I put a thing when I post this show, an epilepsy trigger warning.
Perfect.
That way.
And a scoliosis trigger warning.
Scoliosis.
Possible. I don't know.
It could happen, right?
One of my coworkers had a seizure today, and I got the call. Yeah.
Wow.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, now
I had to bring it up since he said something.
No, that's sad.
Well,
I mean,
now I feel like an asshole.
I mean, can you imagine like being one of those people that have
Is
that?
it like were you
just-
cool? Were you like good friends with him?
No, I mean it's normal. He's on medication. He does everything he's supposed to with having that illness, but he's come up to me before and just said, "Yeah, everything should work out, but there's times where I'm just gonna have a seizure."
That stinks.
What? Yeah. Sometimes it's just gonna happen.
What do we do, dude? He's like, "Call the cops."
Just let it ride, dude.
All the cops.
The cops?
Well, 911, right? Call 911.
Yeah.
Yeah. I dated a girl who had seizures pretty regularly, and she's just like, just let it ride. Just make sure I'm not like gonna smash my head. Like if I'm falling over, like
Don't they
catch me?
Yikes.
Don't you supposed to put something in their mouth?
Like a
so they don't
wallet or
bite their
something?
tongue off or something?
Nah.
Like an apple.
She didn't say anything
apple.
like that.
Good girl.
An apple.
Don't bite your tongue
Is
off.
that,
It's
or
an
is that a
apple.
horse?
No, that's a horse.
Well, guys,
That's only for horse seizures.
horse seizures get apples.
Yeah.
I guess
Apples.
if they're a good girl
Or boy.
or boy, good boy,
Then they get an apple.
and an apple. Yep.
All
If a
right.
horse is having
Is
a
it a
seizure,
green apple?
red,
Red. It's always red. Horses don't like green apples.
red, delicious.
Red delicious for the horses.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. I want to welcome you guys all here today.
Here we go.
We got a super sweet Christmas Am I the Asshole special here for you guys. Me and Dave have been scouring through the
Classifieds.
the classified subreddit Am I the Asshole for days on end in order to find these top tier Am I the Asshole situations for you guys. And we bought two of the finest, smartest, most judgmental gentlemen that we've ever met in our entire lives. Nick Taylor and Dean, who has actually traveled here all the way from Houston, Texas, just to be on this show.
It's a true story.
He did travel all the way from Houston.
I want to thank everybody for having us. It's all downhill from here, though. Thanks.
Thank you. And just so you know, your flight and rental fees and all that stuff is, I know I told you we would pay for that, but we're not going to be able to do that.
No, we never had the money.
We never had the money. We're not making this. This isn't a profitable show right now.
We want to thank the viewer.
Yeah, thank you, viewers, for making sure.
No, the singular.
The singular viewer.
Thank the viewer.
Yeah, I had to pay to get on this show.
That's right. Actually, if you want to be on this show,
you can pay too.
You can pay as well.
I'm here because there's no football on tonight.
What really happens is we'll get like 200 views on a show, but it's really just one person incessantly watching
it
us.
over.
Just refreshing it over and over again.
Thank you, whoever you are out there. We don't know who you are, but we appreciate it. That's how we make the big YouTube dollars. Is we need like 5 more viewers just like him that just can keep clicking it till we get up into the thousands.
Wow.
And that's the goal, right?
And once you make yourself known, you're gonna get a travel expense bill from Dean.
I was just going to say, you think that one person that's just watching the podcast over and over again, do you think they have a crazy username?
Nah.
It's just real bland,
It's
like
probably like
Jonathan 5.
No,
Yeah.
user 567814432.
Right. Probably.
That's probably it.
Just like stalking Dave.
Yeah, probably.
Well, boys, let's get into this. Maybe we'll find out more about our mystery user who plays our show on repeat. Thank you, whoever you are. Again, we appreciate it.
It's me.
This first one I found, and I thought it was pretty good. So, am I the asshole for telling my dad that I'll gladly spend Christmas with him if he gives me back my college fund as a Christmas gift? To make this brief, I, male 23, had issues with my dad after my mom died and my stepmom came along. I hated a lot of decisions that were made, but What has left a long-lasting impact was taking my college fund to pay for my stepbrother's surgeries. Unfortunately, he's dead. Died last year at the age of 16 from a chronic heart problem. I put my distance, but still see my grandparents and uncles and aunts and cousins, etc. With holiday season coming up, Dad started talking to me through some relatives, close relatives. He went on about his overwhelming feelings of loneliness, his upcoming divorce, and invited me to spend Christmas with him because he's alone and heartbroken. As a response, I told him I'll gladly spend Christmas with him if he gives back my college fund in the form of a Christmas gift. He and others didn't like my response. He thought this was harsh, and my relatives said I was a judgmental, petty, greedy asshole to say this to him after he's lost so much. They said he did all he could to save his stepson, my stepbrother's life, which they described as noble, and that he doesn't owe me a thing. I went home after a big argument with my uncle, who came at me for what I had said. Now I feel like shit. Maybe I should have just calmly, politely declined the invite and not said this to him and made him feel guilty for how he handled my stepbrother's situation.
Asshole.
Am I the asshole?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean,
I feel like this is a really funny situation.
it is. It's there's death
Hey,
and
Pops, how about
loss
that money?
and It's hilarious.
Do you think?
Yeah, tons of surgeries and death is always funny.
I mean, come on,
It
dude.
kills.
Like, if you're so
Every
worried
time.
about your college fund and like your stepbrother's dying and needs surgeries and eventually does die, and you're like holding on to like, man, that was my college fund. Get out of here.
Well, I feel like that's a little vindicating, though. Like, you guys should have gave me that money because he was just gonna fucking die.
He died
All those
anyways.
surgeries were worthless. You wasted my college money, and now everybody's poor.
I think this is an allegorical story that's not real, and it's just a very upset millennial just getting his feelings out towards Joe Biden.
You don't believe this story?
I don't believe this story. It might be real, but it seems too fantastical. Who dies?
I mean, people do.
Oh, they do.
Especially ones that have like heart conditions and need lots of surgeries.
Did you-
They tend to die, Dave.
I didn't know people died.
For saying to the dad, I will come to Christmas only if you give me back as a gift the amount of money that I would have gotten towards college. Here's the play, right? It's like he knows that dad doesn't have any other kids. They're just dying on him. You're the only one. He's lonely. He's been divorced once, going through another one.
Yeah, the wife divorced him too
So-
after he paid for her son's surgeries.
He's got
that
like
he died.
everything in his corner, like all the chips. Or he's got all the chips, you know?
Yeah, he's just winning at life
Well,
at this point.
Hear me out, though. The fund was created by his mom and dad, and it got spent on, I'm
By
assuming...
his mom who died.
No, his mom died, right?
His mom died. His mom and dad made this. His mom died. He got remarried, and he spends the money on his stepson, who also dies after using all the money on a bunch of surgeries.
So it wasn't even his... So mom and dad put this fund together for him, and he spends it all on someone who's not blood related, you know?
But it could be like a son, you know, like a stepson. Say, you know, it's like you didn't earn the money. You know, your parents had some money saved for you. Okay, that's nice. And it was going to be your college fund. That's nice. But then a stepbrother has such serious illness that needs surgery that it eventually caused death. So it's like at that point, man, that money is going to go to save somebody's life versus your education. It's like work something else, get a scholarship for something, or work a trade, do something different. It's like, yeah, it's pretty selfish, I think, to choose somebody's life versus your college fund. I don't know. I just think like you're the asshole there.
For sure.
I don't think so, dude.
I don't think so either.
So he's justifiably angry because money that he never had in the first place.
From his dead mom.
From his dead mom.
And dad.
And dad.
And living
And dad.
dad.
Right? So when the mom dies, that's his dad's money. That's just how that works, right?
Yeah.
So his mom dying and his mom being a part of it really doesn't play anymore because
I would like to know he went to school for or
Like
going.
what he was gonna
yeah,
go to
like if
school
it's something
for?
stupid, I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, man. Like your
Yeah.
dad did you a favor.
He's
Well, if
going
it
to
was-
art history for a art history major.
If he
Right.
wasn't going to school for something stupid, then he wouldn't need the money to pay back the loans. He'd be able to fucking just do it himself.
Dude, I have a job and I use my degree, and I would still love to have my loans paid off.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah, I think so too.
And it's only going up.
It's only going
Kids
up.
are just getting buried right now.
They're
dead.
getting smashed.
They're getting dead.
So I heard-
One's dead.
I heard
and
some-
I feel like this is a memorial of his mom. Like his mom did this. Like his mom and his dad made this fun for him. And the least that I think that the dad can do is honor his dead mom's wishes.
How old is he?
He's got to be
Like
out
if
of college.
like if
or-
he's like 15, 16, yeah, I mean that's fucked up.
Yeah.
Right, but if he's like 18, 19, 20, 21 where you can put your name on a bank account and manage those funds.
I mean, putting myself in that kid's situation, right? So it's like my mom and dad save up money for me to go to school. Okay. My mom dies. That's terrible. My dad's now got this money saved for me to go to college. Okay. I want my dad to be happy. He remarries. Okay. I think he's happy. Things are going okay. In my head, that's what's happening. I've got a stepbrother now. Whether I dislike this stepbrother, whatever, I understand the importance of human life. And the stepbrother is really sick. I feel really bad. He's got these heart problems. He's in and out of the hospital, whatever. And now it's like there's this amount of money needed to get like these heart surgeries or whatever, for this kid to get fixed. And there is this money. Do I say, fuck you, Jimmy? Like you're
Yeah,
sorry, you can't get your heart fixed because I need to get my liberal arts degree. That's wild to me.
I think there's one thing that we're missing that they don't have in this story that makes all the difference. I think it depends whether the dad straight up told him beforehand. Like if this kid's like, okay, they've had this money put aside for me, like my mom's always told me, they always told me my mom died, he's expecting this money when he gets to college. And then his dad's like, oh, well, you don't have the money because, by the way, when old Bobby kicked the bucket, I actually spent all that money that we had saved for you.
He has to know.
I'm gonna say I'm also gonna bring this into the equation here. I'm saying the dad is an idiot.
He's probably an idiot.
The dad is an idiot. The stepmom comes in. He sees that he has money. She's like, I need to, work what I got in order to get my son his surgeries. So she marries this poor guy. And then once the son dies and the dad is all out of money for paying for this kid's surgeries, and he's dead now, and then the mom pieces out and divorces him, dude. That's like classic gold digger material right there, dude. His dad's an idiot. He owes his son that money.
His dad's not smart, right? But there could be worse situations.
Look.
Like he's got $30,000 for the kid to go to college. Just say he's got $30,000 saved
Okay.
up for the kid to go. Now the dad could be like, "Hey, I'm going to gamble it away, and now I've lost all of my $30,000 gambling." The son could be like, "Okay, you're an asshole, Dad. That was supposed to be the money you saved for me to go to college from you and Mom. Now you went and gambled it away, and now I don't have any money. Now I'm justifiably pissed."
It's a double-edged sword. I mean,
But it's like you took the money and you did something heartfelt to hopefully save the life of somebody I may call my brother.
But what about the dead? Well, okay. How much of that money did the dad put into the fund, and how much did the mom put into the fund before she died?
I think based on the story, we just have to assume that the fund went for the surgeries, and that's what that was.
yeah.
Yeah, but the mom was
Oh.
the kid's mom, like that
At
died
that point, it's
before he
mom and
remarried.
dad's money. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's like a commutative money.
Right.
And then when mom dies, that's dad's money. That's...
Look, you got to put
That's how
yourself
that
in
goes.
dad's shoes too, right? Like I think it's double-edged sword. I think it's both fucked up. But if you truly love somebody, right? Truly do.
I think he wasn't in love, though. He was truly fooled by this evil bitch.
Love, fool. I mean, there's plenty of stupid people, right? Plenty of stupid people that get gold digged on all the time, right? It happens.
Oh, yeah.
Whether or not he knows that, I mean, there's guys that get gold digged and know they're getting gold digged, right?
Yeah.
This guy probably knows it. He's like, whatever. Hopefully, I hit it once a month. I'm gonna save this dying kid. You know,
Once a month.
I got
right?
little
I mean, hopefully-
Jimmy Lupus.
I don't think that she's a gold digger, because that would imply that he would have the money to not have to spend his extra, like his son's college funds.
Yeah,
but-
look,
Yeah, it doesn't sound like the mom
If he
was
spent it on
swaying.
her, yes, he's a gold digger. But look,
So is the dead son the gold digger?
Nah, he's like
he's dying, right? Like,
So you can't be you can't be a dying gold digger. I mean, I've watched stuff on the 49ers and
there's somebody
San
with a heart
Francisco.
condition right now. They're like, God damn it.
these
Guys,
And-
yeah, with a
heart condition, I'm
stepdad
a
who's
gold
paying
digger.
for all of their surgeries.
It's our only viewer is the heart condition.
Right.
guy.
I think like the dad, and it wasn't just the dad, the whole community of family, right? The uncles and the cousins and everybody's like, whoa, kid, you're being a dickhead right now. You're being an asshole.
That's some real
true.
Like,
fucked up
how
shit
would you?
said.
So it's like not like, man, just my dad thinks I'm an asshole, but everybody else agrees with me. Nah, everybody thinks you're an asshole. It's like, get over it. You never earned this money. If you want to get something and earn it, and then like somebody took it from you and used it on the kid's heart surgery, then be pissed. You didn't earn shit. You know what I mean? Your parents were like, okay, here's a college fund for you. That's a nice, if that happens.
Like, how much money here? Like, was it $2,500 or was it
No.
40 grand?
If you're paying for surgeries,
Is homie going to community college?
if you're paying for a kid's surgeries, I gotta think that's like hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Oh,
And if there, what if there was like, you know, insurance covered some,
Yeah.
say it's 30, 40 grand, 100 grand, whatever. You know, it doesn't matter either way. So say like, you know, for Christmas that, you know, Billy wanted PlayStation, right? But the family has $500 to spend. And instead, Susie, the sister, broke her leg and it cost $500 to get her a cast and they only have $500. Do you still get the PlayStation? Of course not.
Yeah, that's a little bit different
Is
though,
it?
than like your
How?
education, because your education
gift
is
is a
invaluable.
Is it?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, it's not something he earned. It was like, it was money that he was going to get for something, no matter what that thing is.
I would look at a education as an investment more than a gift.
Okay,
this
so
is
say
me
the kid
putting-
wanted an investment in stocks and bonds, or say the kid wanted whatever. You know, here's a $100 gift certificate or $500 towards your education. Well, I understand. There's an injury in the family, or that could lead to death. You know, obviously we need to take care of that.
I agree to an extent, but I still hold a resentment towards the stepmother who's fucking gold digging and tricking out her ass for this whatever money this guy has to pay for her son's surgery. Because if it's a chronic heart condition, I got to imagine that she's probably known about this for a while.
Oh, sure.
Probably since like birth.
And probably
I imagine.
never really told this guy about her son. Like, yeah, he's sick.
Yeah,
blah, blah,
it should
blah.
have never been included. Like, dad should have never brought up this money to the stepmom. Like, look, we got 20 grand over here. We can help him.
Yeah, because you
And I
know.
love you.
Well, there's a bunch of things that could happen, right? So when they got together, like, say this wasn't the first surgery. Say this lady's been pumping money into this kid
This
for
dying
multiple
kid.
surgeries over years and
Boatloads of
years and
money.
years. So say she doesn't have any money because all her money has been to this kid's surgeries his whole life.
Now she comes to this dude begging for more fucking money.
Or they meet.
Plus,
as-
I bet you she was married before, too.
probably.
She
know,
probably sucked him
She had
dry
a
and
kid, right?
divorced
Like, she had a
him.
kid with somebody.
Well, it doesn't say how long these two have been married either, and I think that makes a difference because like if the mom died, you know, when this poster was young. And like this dude's been with this woman for like let's say like 12 years, and this has been his
You're
stepbrother
right.
for all. But if it was like they met each other last year and got married, and to him it's some random ass fucking stranger
Totally
who happens
agree.
to be a stepbrother.
No, I totally agree. If this was like they got married 3 months ago, and then you know he dumped the whole college fund in for this kid he just met and all this, yeah, that's a different thing. But I'm not thinking that's the situation.
We can only assume.
We can
here.
only
We can
assume.
only
here.
assume. And I assume the worst out of everybody.
Right, they are like Reddit is not a congregation of fine, upstanding people like there are here at this table. Reddit is
That's true.
a cesspool.
It's a cesspool. I think what I would do is I would internalize it, and I would start running for like charity. I'd start a run in this kid's name,
GoFundMe.
like a heart condition run, and like to train for it every day. I would just run to his grave and spit on it. Yeah.
So when we were growing up, we had a fund. My sister had one, I had one, and at one time, funds got pulled, right? And my mom tells me that she's like, Dean, we gotta take this money, like we gotta survive, right? And we're at this point where you're young and little, and you're like, okay, mom, cool. Right? Like, you don't know
Yeah, let's survive, Mom.
You don't know what the meaning of money truly is.
When I was
at that
little,
age.
yeah, similar. When I
Right.
was little, my parents started a gym membership fund for me that they had to take away. When I was 6 years old, right? And they said, Nicholas, we are going to set aside money
We're so
every month
sorry.
for you to join the YMCA for your fitness goals. And I said, thanks, because I'm in good shape now. And I'm going to continue staying in good shape my entire life. And I know these funds you set aside for me is going to keep me on that goal. And then all of a sudden, my dad spent it on booze and gambling. And here we are. Never got to the gym.
You're still such a fine specimen of a man.
That's true.
An Adonis.
Never got to the gym.
But to Dean's point, I also agree that, like, that is an understandable situation. But the difference between Dean's situation and this situation that we found on Reddit is this money is going towards your stepbrother and his whore mother that your dad married, not to keep the family that you're actually blood related to, like, alive and living in safe,
Let me ask
comfortable
you guys
conditions.
this. So if, let's just say, hypothetically, the mom is not a hoe, right?
yeah, I'm with you.
And,
Yeah.
and the dad and mom, right? The dad and stepmom, excuse me, are deeply in love, right? And they're trying to do everything they can for their family. And
I would say if that was accurate, he wouldn't have divorced her after the kid died.
No,
oh, do we know that? Do we know that he's divorcing her?
No, she's divorcing him.
maybe she's going
what
through
if
it, man.
What if, like, they were deeply in love, and then shit happened? Do you still think that way?
A death of a child results
screw
50% of the time results in divorce.
Yeah, exactly. So that's tough stuff.
Yeah, but still, she's a whore, and she's took him out for his money, dude. You can't change my mind.
I think
I figured this out. I know who the asshole is.
I've been swayed.
It's the goddamn
I've
whore
been
wife.
swayed.
The goddamn
kid's the
filthy
asshole.
whore wife.
I've been swayed this way.
So here's the thing, right? If he was the kicker for me here is one thing: kid didn't earn shit. You know what I mean? The
I
kid didn't
agree.
have money.
I agree.
It was not like boo-hoo. Somebody saved up money for you. It was never your money. You know what I mean? If you want a college education, take out a loan like the rest of the world, or earn it, or get a scholarship, or whatever. That's just life, man. If you're gonna take your entitlement over somebody's death, suck it.
Yeah, shit's not fair.
I mean, it's the most human thing you can do. Me and Tony were just at a play recently, right? It was fictionalized, but for centuries there'd be successions of kings and queens in Europe and in Africa and Asia, and these motherfuckers would kill each other to take that throne.
That's right. That's very true. This is a human nature
Nature
problem.
thing.
Like a Game of Thrones situation.
Like lots
Exactly.
of Game of Thrones situations.
So it's almost like
I'm into it, yeah.
It's almost like a very human thing to like
demand that
something be given to you, and if death occurs, then so be it.
Fictionally, and centuries ago, and that whole thing, yeah.
Plus, the succession would always go to the father's male heir, not to the new wife that he marries' son, dude. If we're looking at kings and queens in succession of royalty and lands and property,
Are we getting into Game of Thrones stuff now?
Are you
Are you a House of Dragons guy?
No, I don't like House of Dragons.
You don't like House of Dragons?
I'm
Have
not
you
a big
seen-
fan. I've watched like the
it's
first 4
so
episodes,
good.
and I was like, this is so fucking ridiculous.
Dude, it's so good.
It's just so typical, dude.
No, it
like
gets
dead
way
mom,
better, too.
dead fucking everybody. Now you're
No,
fucking
it
your
doesn't
cousin.
matter.
Dead
It's not
stepbrother.
Dead stepbrother.
Uncle.
You're banging your uncle and you're
Yeah.
fucking
So the question is,
Oh, it's
and
so
your
good.
queen.
the question
So
is,
good.
if this wasn't a post on Reddit, if it was a scroll like pulled out of King George III's grave, with him bitching about his brother getting money before he was the king, would it be okay then?
That's a
He
completely
would
different.
demand there would be a war.
There would be a war. Well, maybe he should start a war, like an
Maybe
Al
this is the
Pacino
war.
Serpico type war.
Well, I mean, I honestly think it comes down to that kid's entitlement and him not understanding
That
humanity.
you gotta save your fucking gold digging stepbrother, whore mom.
Like, it's so like, hey, I
family.
feel like I'm owed something.
Even the
Wah.
family said that.
You know what I
He
mean?
was fucked
Like-
up for it, right?
Has any? But I mean, the one.
All of the. Let me tell you something. In every single one of these posts, the person's family is always telling him they're an asshole.
Yeah, but that's why
But
they
the
go.
whole family. I mean, every single person here is unanimously like.
But
dude,
there's one person in the family who isn't telling him that he's the asshole, and it's the real asshole in
the
this
dead
situation, and
stepbrother.
that's the dead mom, because she died and she fucked it all up for him.
Yeah, she really ruined things.
she
She put his life in a bad trajectory.
She had a bad heart too. Like
yeah.
She probably
back to
needed a
back.
surgery.
Now, would that change your mind, Tony? Like, if the dad loved the mom, right, the original mom, and she died from a heart attack, and then he finds this other woman, he loves her so much, and then it's the son that she has
Also has the same disease as the
Yeah,
mom.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Is that a game changer?
That's still not a game changer, but my heart goes out to that poor bastard who's getting his fucking money stolen.
There's two things that play into it here.
Back-to-back heart attacks.
Dave's point, time frame, right? So if this is just a brand new honeymoon phase, they've been together for a month, and he takes all the money and puts it to this kid after a month. They get divorced. The kid dies anyways. Yeah, that sucks worse. And he's not the asshole as much. But if this is a thing, right, and this is your step bro, and this is like your stepmom, and like this is like the extended family now, and your step bro's dying, and he needs surgery, and you're like, you're not touching my college money to save this kid's life. Fuck you.
Well, but here, so
You're an asshole for sure, I think.
So I know we need to come to a conclusion soon, and this is the last thing I want to think about, because you made me think of it. Like, wait, this guy's been married for a long time. Let's say his wife died. He's been out of the dating game for a long time. He goes on some dates. He's like, man, I can't get anything right, you know? He's just so out of sync, awkward, whatever. And he has a date with this lady, and he's like, oh, she's really pretty, you know, I like her, da-da-da, this and that. And, you know, she's emotional. Her son's got all these heart conditions. It's the top thing on her mind, and she just starts talking about it. And without even thinking, he's like, I have $100,000, you know, like, and I'm not saying that she's in it for the money, gold digger style, but maybe like he presents himself in a way just to get into a new relationship.
Yeah, I mean,
and then
there's a lot of guys that do that.
That's like how he shows his value, you know, like he doesn't know another way to do
Oh
it.
yeah, let
like,
me dangle my Cadillac keys here in front of this.
Put yourself in the dad's situation for real. Say like you have your wife and you lost your wife, she dies or whatever, and then you really meet this person that is like the person you're meant like this. You feel like this is your soulmate, and you get close enough with her son, and this is like your stepson, a really good relationship and everything, and it's just like calls you dad. You know, I'm not calling him dad. You know, and it's
He
like,
never pulls the "You're
Papa,
not
I
my
got a-
real dad."
yeah,
Papa, I got a bad heart.
He has
Exactly.
to if he wants
Well,
that
what
fucking
you-
money.
Your stepdad?
you know, as
He has to if he wants that fucking money.
as that guy, if you look at this person as your son and you have money to save a life potentially, or put entitled original son through college, I'm saying, hey, original son,
You're an asshole.
fill out an application.
I'm with Nick. I would do it
somewhere.
too. I
You
would
know, I gotta.
100% do
This
it.
dude's got to live.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's not like I took his college fund to go pay for his college. Yeah, then I'd be pissed. I took his college fund to potentially save someone from dying.
Well, guys, I'm glad that you guys are together on this. Unfortunately, me and Dave have been doing this a long time, so generally we know the right answers, and I'm going to say that he's not the asshole, and or that he's not an asshole for demanding it, and the bitch whore mom and the dad are both assholes.
and he's going to have the weight of three of us on this one, because I switched to your side. But the only reason I did is because it has nothing to do with that little weak-hearted child, okay? It has everything to do with I feel bad for the dad. Like, he got married. His wife
he's got
died.
two dead wives.
His wife died. No, the other one divorced
That's
him.
fucked.
His wife
Oh, yeah.
died. He's in a bad spot. He meets a new lady. She's like, we can do this, but like he gets attached to the kid. The kid dies. And then he gets divorced. And then after he gets divorced, he's like, hey, son, I'm having a pretty lonely Christmas. And he's like, well, how about you give me my fucking college money and I'll come over.
Burn.
Yeah.
Burns.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Mic
That's
drop.
dumb.
If you're anybody,
Well,
just to real quick, real quick.
I really want to get into this next one, Nick. So, real quick.
Give me 30 more seconds.
Okay.
If you're mad about something that you never had, then you're an entitled bitch in the first place.
Okay.
No matter what. I'm mad about something that somebody who said they were going to give to me. you're kind of a bitch, no matter what. No matter what the situation is.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Done.
Fair enough.
So this one I've been thinking of since I've read it. This one has been just simmering in my mind. Would I be the asshole for skipping my husband's grandma's Christmas to avoid his sister because she left human feces and urine in my house? My sister-in-law, Katie, 23, female, lived with my husband and I for about a year. Scroll it down.
Oh. Sorry, I'm not paying attention here.
She was living with their grandma, Diane, but they had a falling out, so we offered her the upstairs rent-free. It's just a single bedroom up there, so she had the upstairs all to herself. We only used it for storage. She paid nothing and only bought her own food, but was also welcome to use our food too. This was supposed to last a few months while she saved money for an apartment. Only house rule we had was Katie couldn't bring people over without notice or when no one was home, and never to spend the night. No curfew or anything silly like that. During her stay, her boyfriend ended up homeless. She begged us to let him stay, even offered to pay rent. We said no. The boyfriend was a complete stranger to us. Katie's stay had issues, like her losing her job, constantly needing money from us, and just not taking care of herself. After her being jobless and living on food stamps and our help for 6 months, we finally said she had to find somewhere to go because it was clear we weren't helping her find independence. She finally moved out to stay with her boyfriend's sister. That didn't last long, as she's at Diane's again. I have no idea why, but I can guess. While Katie was with us, we never went upstairs ever. We respected her privacy and had no reason to be there. The day she left, I went upstairs to find garbage bags everywhere, old food all over the floor. The floor was sticky, it smelled. It didn't spend long looking, didn't even walk through the door, just left it for my husband to see when he got home from work. Husband took a deeper look. He found the following. Trash bag with human feces in them, at least 10-gallon jugs full of urine, a tote with cat litter, and an unidentifiable sludge we guessed was human feces and urine. While even this is horrible, I realized something else. Katie must have snuck her boyfriend into the house, and he was living up there with her, peeing in jugs and pooping in bags because he couldn't come downstairs to use the bathroom or risk being caught by us. It's the only thing that makes sense. She had no reason not to use the bathroom downstairs, and she wouldn't be able to pee in the jugs without a funnel. Now, Diane is mad at me because I won't put on my big girl panties to play nice with Katie so she can have a nice Christmas. My husband is going, but I just can't. I tried to talk to Katie. She apologized in text for the state of the room, but didn't admit to what she'd done to it for it to end up the way that we even asked, or the way even when asked directly. Her reason was she was depressed. If she had told the truth, I would play nice for the sake of Diane. I would suffer through Christmas quietly and most likely drunk, but I don't think I'll be able to look at her. Would I be the asshole for not going to so Diane can have a happy family Christmas?
No.
Yikes.
Pooping in bags and bottles and
cat litter totes.
and for months.
Well, you pee in jugs to keep spiders away. That's something I got taught as a young child.
I watched
so that makes
Trailer
sense.
Park Boys, and it's also Ray taught me it's the way of the road
It is the way of the road.
to piss in jugs.
Like, if the boyfriend was sneaking in and he's up there doo-dooing in bags in front of her, can you imagine how gross that would be? Like, all right,
People are into
babe,
stuff.
I gotta take a shit in this bag. You hold it.
I don't think Diane's the asshole here. I mean, for her not wanting to be around.
I think Diane's grandma.
Okay, the grandma's not the asshole.
I don't think the grandma's really the asshole either.
Nah,
But
I mean-
I don't think this girl who wrote the post is the asshole either. Who hosted this
I agree.
this human being that kind of like shit in bags
an animal.
boyfriend
in their
shit,
house.
right?
Fucking animal.
She suspects
says
it's the boyfriend.
Have you
pissing
ever
in
shit in a
jugs.
bag?
I don't know.
Not in a garbage
How
bag.
did she know there wasn't
I've
a
never
funnel?
shit in a bag.
Let's talk about a funnel for a minute, okay? Because say her excuse was depressed, right? So
Right.
I'm gonna say maybe this was the case, and the boyfriend really wasn't shitting in bags and litter boxes and pissing
There have been
in
times
jugs.
where I didn't want to leave bed.
Okay, so if she's real depressed,
Grab
right,
that funnel,
and
babe.
the boyfriend is not there, like maybe she just does not want to come down, does not want to leave her room, is shitting in bags, funnel pissing in jugs.
Grab that Ziploc.
You know, and that's just what's happening. Because if the boyfriend's up there and he's shitting in a bag and pissing in a funnel,
No way.
what kind of relation? I mean, like,
Real dirty.
I mean,
that's gross.
I mean, Maybe she doesn't have a funnel. Maybe she's got one of those Wizenators.
She
Plus, she also says that she didn't really look at the room very carefully. So I feel like there could have been a funnel any number of
What was
places.
the sludge?
The sludge they said was a feces urine mix.
Speculation.
Look, there's
Yeah.
no way this could be a cat, like a secret cat. Like she said, she found kitty litter, right?
It
You
might
ever
have been
seen
a cat, dude.
poop
I bet-
versus human poop? It's bigger. Humans.
She got a big cat, dude.
Human poop is bigger.
Maybe it was like a tiger.
She had a lynx up there.
Suit.
I got 3 cats, bro, and I've seen the poop
Never
and I've
seen a
seen
shit
my
that
own.
big.
It's different. It's different size.
So we're ruling out a cat.
It wasn't a cat. It was a human for sure. And it might have been her. I don't think it was the boyfriend's poop and peeps.
Because I mean, if that's the case, I mean they're in the same room anyways. They could be doing some freak
I don't-
nasty
Yeah,
stuff.
they said the floor was sticky.
Yeah, they
I
could be
can't
doing
imagine
like.
anything in there smelling.
She called her
remotely-
husband.
Okay.
Honey, you gotta get home.
It's bad.
There's dookie everywhere.
Have you ever-
in bags?
Have you ever participated
Your sister's
in a
dookie.
Have you ever?
Piss on the wall.
Before you even ask it, no.
You've never participated in a dirty Sanchez or a,
Nobody's
Absolutely.
a
not.
rusty trombone, and
A rusty
I've never done that to another human. I feel like.
Alabama slammers.
you're telling me in all your glory you've never pissed on anybody.
No.
Maybe by
No.
by accident.
I will
like a
admit to this.
urinal or something like
I
that.
will admit to this. So, our cats, to bring the cats back around,
It's about to get X-rated, everybody.
Dave has met my cat, Paul. He's met Paul. Paul's raped Dave.
Paul has raped me.
So, Paul, when my wife and myself both shower,
And you still let him live with you.
Paul will get in
assaulting
the
your
shower.
friend.
I've pissed on Paul. I didn't mean to. But some got on his tail.
Paul sounds like a really ambitious cat.
He jumps in the shower.
and rapes Dave.
No,
He has raped Dave before.
I didn't want it. This is supposed to be like a funny show, but now I guess we're getting into the serious.
This is serious.
Stuff.
Dave got it for
Dave,
sure.
I got it for sure.
It's
First
okay,
time
Dave. This is a safe place.
Nick said that this is, Linda, and I'm sorry, I forget the other cat.
Karen and Paul.
He said, this is Linda and Karen, they're cool. He was like, watch out for Paul. He's going, oh my God, he was already raping me before Nick
He was like
finished
right
the
in
sentence.
his face,
Yeah.
doing things.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah. No, Paul's a nut.
I think your cat might be an asshole.
For sure. There's no debate. I mean, that's not a debate.
But you're saying with your cat knowledge that you would be able to tell
it
a
wasn't cat shit versus a human
from a
shit.
human shit.
The key indicator is size.
There's just
me.
logs and bags up there. It was so gross.
But
Yeah.
why wouldn't you?
There was litter up there, though.
Yeah, at least that's kind of the weird thing. Did you think this very depressed person just thought that
Maybe
would
they were
be
furries, dude.
unacceptable? I heard something about a cat litter box going into a elementary school for a child.
That's true.
That's true. I think that's real.
So maybe this person was really just trying to figure themselves out what kind of
she identifies as a
Species.
cat.
species they were.
Yeah.
And
Calico.
maybe the sister's actually an asshole for not accommodating to
No.
her cat sister-in-law.
Nah, no. I think if you think you're a calico, like I'm a Siamese cat. That's what I am. I don't think anybody should say do anything nice for me.
Well,
I
That
think
doesn't
people
earn
should.
you special treatment.
Nope. I think if I identify as a cat, have litter and shit in it, I think people should throw me away
But
as a
what-
human. I'm done at that point. Nobody should be nice to me, and nobody should be like, yeah, let him be a cat.
Whoa.
Nope.
Give him another chance.
what if you identify as a Thundercat though?
No. I mean, that can like at a Comic Con or something, you can be a Thundercat. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know, but
She
like
did.
not a real life, like, hey, I'm in school now. Pet me. Nah.
I think what it really comes down to with all like the lethargicness, the lethargy, and the not having jobs and stuff like these
people are mentally
these people are on drugs.
Okay.
For sure.
On drugs. I mean, I don't
And
want.
mentally ill.
I don't know. I don't want to say if I've ever been in a
PCP.
situation like that, but like it has all the classic signs of maybe a drug thing.
It sounds
joke.
like a trap
Look,
house. I've
no.
been in trap houses.
There's a problem.
Similar to the one that they're describing in their upstairs bedroom.
Where was the litter? Like, to really get down to this, what was this litter situation? Like, they said there was pee in jugs, shit in bags, and there was sludge, and then there was also litter. Where was the litter?
I think they said it was in a tub, like a
Yeah.
big tote.
There was no cat, right?
no,
Nah.
not that they said.
So what was happening?
So I mean, if you're gonna get creative and you're like, well, you say it's a woman pooping and peeing, shit and whatever. But let's say it's a boyfriend and it's like, oh my God, I want you over here. I love you. I can't spend any time without you because I'm a codependent.
He's also homeless.
And
He's
you're
for sure homeless,
He's
yeah.
homeless and she's in love. It's a tale. It's like King George again. It's
sounds
a
like
tale
they-
as old as time.
Yeah.
So you're getting resourceful. He can't go downstairs to use the bathroom. What gets away smell if doing the business? Kitty litter.
I feel like this guy
Or
also
cleaning it up.
Or probably, I feel like
And
he was
Febreze.
homeless for a long time, and maybe by now being homeless, they mean he was kicked out of his bando. Because I feel like this is like a bando type situation, like an abandoned house or whatever with no
Oh, so he's just
water,
shitting
no nothing.
everywhere
So they're shitting
normally.
in bags and all pissing in jugs and
I
doing
can
all
see
this
that.
shit as like a normal thing. And this guy is not used to
Society.
having like a
So
normal.
here's the situation, right?
bathroom.
So if you've ever been wooing a girl and you're like about ready to date this girl, would one of the first things you do would be shit in a bag in front of her? Not in any of my situations. I would usually hold the door open for her, like do nice things, like compliment her.
Not shit
One
in a
thing
bag.
I
But what
wouldn't do would be a piss jug. There wouldn't be a piss jug in the situation anywhere.
One thing I can say though is when you're dating a girl and you really start to date them, they get nasty, right? They'll shit the door fucking open.
Okay,
They'll fart around.
I
you,
agree
they'll
with
get
you.
crazy.
After you've been with somebody
Like,
for a long
while,
time,
there's a little bit of comfort.
you get comfortable with somebody, and I'm comfortable with my wife.
Good shit in the bag.
I've never had a bathtub litter box where we communicatively shit in.
I remember.
I'll tell you that much.
I remember once, and this was during the COVID times, and I was dating a very nice girl, and we had just started dating, and we were on a nice walk. Everything was shut down, whatever, and we're about 1.5 miles into this walk, and my stomach drops. Okay, and there's a certain point where you're like, there's no holding it. You're gonna shit yourself, and I was just like. I just stopped and I said, well, we're by a park. I said, walk in front of me. She said, why? And I said, just walk. She was like, well, why are you being, woman stuff questioning, just not walking. And I was like, I'm not going to lie.
myself.
I was like, I'm not going to lie to you. We just met a couple weeks ago, but I'm going to shit. And she was like, oh. And I was like, take a walk. I'm going to go find a tree. And that's what happened. And, if they're looking for the pooper and they're watching the show, I'm the guy, okay? But so, sometimes
You guys still together?
No.
Oh, it didn't work
So
out.
it didn't work
No,
out.
but it lasted for a little while after that, and then there was a pause, and then we were back together.
This is
again.
also a different situation than that, though. There's a bathroom. There's got to be a bathroom somewhere
Right.
available to them other than shitting in a bag. It's
bad.
There's got to be another
you know what I would
option.
do? I would poop out the window.
You think so?
I mean, if you gotta
You end
go,
up with a big pile of shit.
I
out
don't know the
window.
window
Every
situation.
morning you walk like, why is there
Yeah,
shit
because it
here?
sounds like this was going on for they were
But some
continuously
homeless person
shitting in a
shitting
bag.
outside my house.
I would not.
every day.
I mean, being the person that's in the room with them, I would be like, shit out the window. Do not shit in a bag, and then we'll have to sit here with
If
the
she's
bag of shit there.
depressed, she's just looking past all this. None of this is fake. If she's depressed,
Yeah, they're strung out on drugs.
She's
her,
depressed.
Her
She's not-
boyfriend's homeless as fuck, living in bandos, showing her the ways
yeah, she's
Can you
of
ima-
homeless living.
Can you imagine getting busted at a girl's house? Right, you're sneaking in there, trying to fuck her.
And you're
Babe,
shitting
babe, I
in a
gotta
bag.
shit. I gotta shit real bad. She's like, okay, you can't do it. It's like, no, I gotta use the bathroom.
Well, that wasn't even the situation. The situation is like, I'm just gonna constantly shit here.
Right.
Like,
Well,
Well,
I'm
they
saying
weren't.
is- but what
She
I'm
said
saying
that she
is-
wasn't allowed to. He didn't go downstairs because they were afraid he was going to get caught. But there
Right.
had to have still been times where he could go down there where nobody's home and use a bathroom.
Or if there,
Agreed.
if there's a window in the bathroom and things got dicey, just climb out the window.
yeah,
Mid shit.
it's-
Mid
There's
shit. Just
definitely
like,
a
oh,
lot
God,
of
I'm just
options.
gonna-
We've really discussed this quite a bit, and I don't think any of us have really determined whether or not who is an asshole in this situation.
the girl and her boyfriend.
Yes.
100%.
They're the
yeah.
asshole.
Oh yeah.
But is she an asshole for not going to Christmas and ruining it for them because
They-
her husband can't see his beloved sister who brings her boyfriend and herself to shit
Nah,
in litter
I don't-
boxes in
They
her
are
house?
the asshole where all that shit came from. 100%.
Yeah, I would want to be away from that too. If I was her, I wouldn't be like going to the Christmas where shit bags is going to be anyways. I wouldn't be around that.
If you associate
wouldn't wanna
yourself
go.
with this person, like, I don't want to be at that party.
I'm not. I love you, dear, but like I'm gonna skip this one. You can go if you want to. But
That
like,
leaves some personal damage. I feel like to know that
When
your
you see them,
sister-in-law
what do you say?
and her
oh,
boyfriend.
how have you been? Boy, all this is new with me. Remember the shit bags? Like, what? I'm not going to be in a situation where I'm talking to them again.
I mean-
like, oh yeah, boy, the Steelers won this week. That was cool. piss jugs. You know.
Yeah. You still using those?
Yeah. So, how have you been? Remember the sludge? No, I'm not gonna put myself
What
in that
was
situation.
that after all?
It was a shit piss combo.
I mean, I feel like piss jugs at least have a little bit of more normalcy than a shit bag.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of disgusting guys
I mean-
out there that use piss jugs by their beds.
I mean, yeah, hopefully
If
you
you go into
dump 'em
college or
out,
something,
but-
you know there's a piss jug somewhere.
Not as a normal every day.
Not
Like
all the
if
time.
you're like a trucker and you have like
the ways of the road.
and you've been driving for 20 hours to deliver your freight to the next thing, you're like, man, I've got to make my deadline for all this freight. Then it's like, here's a piss jug, and it's like, I'm not taking it to Thanksgiving with me. I'm pitching it and not keeping it in a room with family to go find the collection of jugs and bags and sludge and litter. That's just nuts. No, I'm not going to be around that person again.
Do you think?
No.
Do you
Yikes.
I think this is a first for this edition of the show. I'm gonna say the asshole is the American welfare system, because they should not have even been in the position to be shitting in bags in the first place. This
He's
is
saying you put these people up in a like a hotel room so they can shit and use litter and leave piles of sludge for some poor sucker at a hotel room that's cleaning it up.
Have you seen like stuff in, like, I don't want to say progressive cities, but like you've seen, you know, places like San Francisco and
The
shit where
homeless,
the
yeah.
houses they have for homeless people, you know, like, so you don't have to shit into a bag in someone's attic.
I think these people might have wanted to do it by choice, because it sounds to me like there were probably other options available.
I think the depression probably took over.
So you don't think it was a sexual
Have you
thing?
guys
No.
ever had? Have you guys ever had?
I'm going to go with
roommates?
I hope not.
I've had roommates, yeah.
Okay. Have you ever went into their room?
Yeah.
I stayed
And I've
away
went
from
with
both of my
them,
roommates'
with them.
rooms, actually.
But have you gone?
I've been in there, but
when I was
do
just
my best to avoid it.
when I was
Close
just
the door.
outside of college, I had a house with a couple roommates, and we all had like our separate jobs. We were buddies, you know what I mean. I had this roommate Kevin who lived in the basement of this house, and Kevin chewed, right? And Kevin had so many like spitter bottles everywhere, and it was gross. You know what I mean? So it's like you couldn't have friends or family or anything over and like go downstairs, because you know there'd be 30 chew bottles filled with.
I have friends like that, too.
Yeah, and that's like gross and bad. And like you say to the roommate, like, bad roommate, don't do this, but this is your area, whatever. It's a different situation if there's sludge. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm
like,
saying they should have like at least knocked on our door and be like, "Hey, is everything cool?" And
Yeah,
is
she
that,
never
is that
went
shit
up.
I smell?
Right.
No, that's not shit. No, that's definitely shit.
dude, why
sludge.
is there a bathtub full
Yeah,
of litter?
like they should at least been like, "Hey, everything cool?" in
Is
here? You need some
maybe
light?"
they should have went and checked up. Maybe
At least once,
their
dude.
responsibility. you
Yeah.
know?
for sure.
I mean, like, I know, like, you know, heat rises, air rises, whatever, but I feel like there would be a stench, you know? Like, if
Yeah,
you
they
got
said they were on
anywhere
the top
close,
floor.
like, I still feel like there'd
You
be
gotta
a
smell
stench.
that. Yeah,
There's vents in the house.
especially when there's sludge and
yeah.
50-gallon totes.
I don't think I could ever even invite someone to a Christmas party after I was
would-
forced to clean up their shit.
I would
there-
have to
no.
move.
There
Yeah,
had to have
that
been a
house
lot
is
of
getting
shit,
sold.
right?
Yeah.
Like she didn't say like, "Oh, I was looking around and I found what random shit." Like
One.
the whole story is about shit and piss. Like, it
10
must have been
bags, I believe they
There was
said.
bags of shit.
Imagine the
everywhere.
Willy Wonka candy factory, the chocolate factory, right? But it's nothing but piss, shit, sludge, and litter. And like this is the room you're walking into with like Oompa Loompas and the whole deal, but it's nothing but like a shit factory. It's not one shit. This is a factory full. You know, I would not be around that person the rest of my life. I don't care if it's a wedding, a funeral, a Christmas party, whatever. I'm not going to be where they are because they used my house as a shit. Like, they just used it as a toilet. No way.
Okay, I agree. I don't think this person's the asshole at all.
I don't think so either.
I think that sister-in-law probably is pretty fucked in the head
Oh, yeah.
and might be the asshole along with the boyfriend.
I think
For sure.
This might be the first time ever that we've all agreed
I
in,
think-
in a situation.
this is a landmark moment.
Obv.
Congratulations, all you guys. Good work.
Did it.
Whoever did all that shitting, make sure to like us and
Yeah,
subscribe.
you're an asshole.
That's your
I hope
one
you're out there listening.
That's our one listener.
Yeah.
That would make a lot of sense.
She's pooping right
Jerry,
now.
44.
All right, you guys ready for this next one?
Am I ever?
All right. Am I the asshole for lying to my wife because I didn't want her to attend my company Christmas party. I feel like shit right now, but here we go. I work for a pretty pretentious company where everyone tries to kiss the boss's ass. We have a huge holiday party every year. It is always a fancy venue. Cocktail attire and great food. When I first started working there, it was something I was excited to take my wife to, but it is now something I dread. My wife gets herself so stressed out over it that she is miserable for weeks leading up to it. She agonizes over what to wear, always goes over budget, and spends the whole day on hair and makeup. Then, when we get there, she's honestly embarrasses me, and again, I feel like shit. Every year, she tries so hard to befriend my boss's wife, who clearly wants nothing to do with her, and literally looks at her husband like, save me. I always feel my boss is laughing at me. Then she spends the next couple of days making fun of my boss's wife, and calling her a bitch, which I'm terrified is going to get back to them. Because you know how gossip works. It's all very hard for me to watch. I have tried to talk to her about her behavior, but she gets defensive and nothing changes. This year, I just couldn't take it. I told her there wasn't going to be a Christmas party, just a lunch during the workday for employees only. My plan was to go alone and make an excuse for her. I hate lying, but I felt I'd given her multiple chances to change her behavior. So what am I going to do? At this point, she is hurting my career and hurting herself mentally. Unfortunately, she found out and is obviously furious. She feels like I took away a huge night from her and is very hurt that I am embarrassed by her behavior. Am I the asshole?
That's tricky.
It's a tough one. I feel I sympathize for this dude a little bit. Because I've been in situations, never really my girlfriend, but like with friends where I'm like, Jesus Christ, dude, stop doing what you're doing for everybody's well-being here. You're making me uncomfortable, and you're making whoever you're talking to uncomfortable in this situation.
Like, for me, and I try to put myself in the shoes of whatever, right? So, like, whenever there's any Christmas party or anything, like, you know, I include my wife with, like, everything, right? But, like, she's cool, you know, she isn't gonna suck, you know, I know she's cool with shit. Like, if there was a situation where it's like I had a Christmas party or I did whatever, and, like, she was like this, I feel like, man, you just talk to your wife and be like, listen, I know this is tough for you. I know you get stressed out. I know you spend all day picking out your outfit and doing your hair, and here's the situation. Just don't try to be friends with the, you know, boss's wife. It's not going to work. She's one way or another way. Just hang out with me. We'll do our thing. We'll leave. Whatever. Communicate to your wife, man. You know what I mean?
It sounds like he tried this, though.
If he tried it and, like, she couldn't hear it, and she just, like, wouldn't after Christmas party kept, like, you know, I would tell her up front, listen, I'm going to the Christmas party, but it's, like, not a great situation when you go. So, like, just
stay home.
So this guy sounds like, I mean, he basically says it how career oriented he is.
Yeah.
So I'm imagining at this party, one of two things happens. Either one, because his wife is always that way, I'd assume that, you know, the way that he talks about it seems like maybe it could be like a running joke with coworkers, so he wants to keep his distance. Or two, he's so focused on advancing his career that even at something like a party, you know, you ever go somewhere with someone like a significant other or a friend or whatever, and you don't know the people, and then they don't really do a good job at introducing you in. They just kind of like leave you by yourself and go and mingle with other people. Like, what if it's that situation? So this guy goes home. He's so career oriented. He's like, oh, honey, you know, like I want to make my way up the ladder and, you know, maybe be the CEO myself one day. And that's his dreams. And she wants to support his dreams. And then he goes to the party and he leaves her by herself. And she's like, I'm going to help by cozying up to the boss because, or the boss's wife, because like I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure my husband is able to move up this ladder and fulfill his dreams. You don't know the situation.
Here's the deal, man. I should be like, listen, you know, be yourself, wife. Don't do anything that's like, you know, just go there and be there, and like, don't, you know, if you can't do that, then if you don't want to go, you don't have to go, and I'll just be like, hey, she's, you know, got pneumonia or whatever, make some excuse for her. But like, be on the same page as your wife.
The guy's the asshole.
You know,
I've gone to Christmas parties. I've taken girls, And, the one time I took a girl, she got fucking wasted because she nervous drank. And I was all for it. I'm like, whatever, that's my girl. Fuck all of y'all. I don't even really like most of you.
That's usually accurate.
Yeah.
In a lot of work situations.
He should have been real. He should have been like, honey, no matter what, I got you. If you don't got your significant other, especially you're married,
Yeah.
come on. Like,
But you have to like put it roles in reverse or whatever, and it's like husband, wife, wife, husband. Either way, like you can't. You got to communicate's the big deal, right? You can't go and be like, I know I'm gonna bring my wife to this situation where things are gonna be bad for both of us. Like you got to talk that through and just like have a game plan, not to go into a shit situation.
that's why he's the asshole. He should communicate that.
I say,
Yeah.
I feel like the foundation of any good relationship, especially with when you're getting married, is built on lies mostly.
Really? Wrong. I did not see that coming.
And in this situation, this is one of those important situations where you need to lie to your significant other, because like, what's he gonna do? He could be honest and be like, hey, you dumb wife of you or of mine, you're really annoying, you're messing up this promotion for me, and I don't want you to come to this Christmas party because you always mess it up, and I've been overlooked for all these promotions for all these years because you keep coming here and annoying the boss's wife, so now he hates me and he treats me like shit at work and everything sucks, and I need you to stop doing that. You could say that to your wife. You're right, you could communicate and be honest with your wife and tell her those things, but I feel like that probably would hurt your wife's feelings.
Oh yeah.
For sure, but what's worse, hurting her feelings in the beginning, or her finding out that you lied because you're embarrassed of her and or didn't have the balls enough to talk to her, and then also after that, like she's pissed for a longer amount of time. Plus your work people.
Well, first off, the lie should have went through. You got to look at your wife at this point and be like, wife, why are you snooping through my cell phone? Why are you reading my emails? How are you figuring out that this other stuff that's going on is happening without me telling you?
I'm pretty sure that like she wouldn't need to snoop too hard to just figure out like accidentally the work Christmas party happened. That's gonna like come up.
See, if
It sounds like nobody likes her or wants to talk to her. Who would tell her?
I don't know if it's on her either. The boss's wife seems like she wouldn't give her the time of day and she wanted to be her friend. Like, that's tricky. You know?
ever meet someone that's like extremely, and these are not the worst type of people, because they are, because it makes you feel bad. You ever at like work or something and you meet somebody like a customer who is just like so friendly, but they won't shut the fuck up. You know, like they are just a ray of sunshine.
They want to be your best friend.
Spewing things that you don't care about. And the only reason it makes you feel bad is because they're so goddamn nice, you know? Because if they were an asshole, you could justify it, yell at them, whatever. But they're so friendly that you're like, I just have to I hate this guy even though he's so fucking nice. And maybe that's the situation here. Maybe his wife's a lovely ray of sunshine that just like talks about dumb shit.
And not only that, like, could the dude talk to his boss, right? I don't know if like he's got a situation like
She's
where
trying to
he
help
can't
him.
talk to his boss and be like, hey,
It's not like she's going there and dudes are hauling at her and like she's fucking other
Or
guys.
she's telling
like,
the boss
she's
that
trying
he's a
to
dick.
help him.
Hey, you
right?
go to
Like,
your
make
boss.
friends with
not.
the boss
She's
wife.
not, though.
Hey, boss, hey, Arnold. Like, I noticed when Janice was at the party talking to your wife, she really likes her, and she thought, this and this and this. That's awesome. It'd be cool if whatever. And then if the boss was like, my wife kind of thinks your wife's an idiot. Like, that people be like, oh, okay, I'll keep her, whatever. But it's like, the husband has to do some communicating.
And this is what I would do. If you're gonna go lie, you gotta go full
Did he really
send.
lie though? Or
Yeah,
did
he
just omit?
lied.
He lied.
He
Straight
lied.
up. He said there was a lunch.
He said there was a lunch instead
guess
of a
he
party.
lied.
Yeah.
So if you're going with a lie, like if I'm lying, like I don't like lying, but if I'm lying and I'm in this situation, this is what I'm doing. I'm renting a web space. I'm hiring somebody or doing this myself to write this story out. I'm getting a filmmaker. We're very loosely making a documentary that is so it's Die Hard adjacent, okay, and we're making a web page and a Wikipedia page that like backs up these events, and I'm showing this to my wife like a month before the party, and be like, look at all these people that got murdered. I have to go for my career.
The amount of energy, that's exhausting.
But you got to go full send. If you're gonna go,
it's so much easier to talk to your wife.
I would talk to my wife, but I'm saying if he came up with a lie,
so I really have no idea what to do to them.
If you're gonna,
Nick, as the only married man here.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I've been married for 3 years, right? I've been with Kirsten for 9. Okay, so it's like
I feel like you don't have to worry about Kirsten embarrassing you at any sort of.
It's vice versa. No, obviously,
Yeah,
so she's got to worry about me
more concerned about you,
embarrassing
yes.
her. But this is a real situation. You just talk to your wife.
Maybe
and a lot of times, maybe the wife doesn't want to go. It's like, honey, this is a situation every year where it's like you have to put on airs. You're not like, you don't love to go. You spend all day stressing, getting ready for it. I'm going to give you a pass here. You want me just to tell him you got COVID or something? You want me to tell him whatever? You want me to tell him
the lie again?
Yeah.
Seems to be the important part in this situation.
I think
that we need. We're just lying to the wrong. Maybe this guy's lying to the wrong person.
Do you want me to make an excuse for you? And like you make an excuse for your husband or wife sometimes, and it's like with family stuff or with work stuff or whatever, if they don't want to be in a situation, like I would make an excuse, and she would for me, vice versa, whatever. If there's like, hey, you want to come help my cousin move all day because you have a truck, no, make an excuse for me. It's like that's just what that's gonna be.
I agree. I'm still going back to like life isn't about the destination; it's about the journey.
I agree. 100%.
So like, if you're gonna lie, is with like some dumb sandwich lie, or you get to be fucking John McClane and make a sweet movie with your friends and turn it into a lie, and then.
See, the more people that get involved, I feel like the more likely it is to fail.
Correct.
Dave's trying to hatch some sort of elaborate scheme here.
The more people you get involved, the easier it is to gaslight somebody.
But here's the thing. It's not. It's about the journey. Life's about the journey, not the destination. I couldn't agree more, except in this situation. Because this is about a problem you're trying to solve, and that's not a journey that you want to be on. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You have to pick and choose like the journeys, and this is just something you want to check the box. I want to find the quickest way to solve the problem of my wife doesn't do well at a work Christmas party. So is the quickest way, number one, you have to talk to your wife. You have to just be open and honest. Like, you don't do good at this Christmas party. You don't like to go. It stresses me out, boss's wife, etc. Okay? So we're going to do one of two things here, right? You have to be a little bit different, or you don't want to go anyways. You don't have to go, and I will cover for you. Whatever cover for you means, I will cover for you.
I want to know where this guy works at.
It's just a corporation.
Well,
whatever.
that's the other.
What?
But that's the other thing too.
Magnets.
I'm imagining a law firm.
He's a magician.
Magnets.
It's
magnet firm.
The order of magi here. No, but if it's like he's a career-oriented guy and like it's a worthwhile career and the corporate culture is so shitty, well, he can find another place to work. Maybe not that simple, but like you think about that. The other thing, when you flip the script on people, that usually works too. So if she just played it off like, no, I don't want to go to Christmas this year. You talk about it. She's like, yeah, I don't want to put up with that bullshit. Then the boss's wife is like, oh, this annoying. Why doesn't she want to hang out with me? And then like the next Christmas, she'll be more receptive to him.
Or maybe she's just not the greatest. They just don't. Sometimes people just don't mend, right? And it's like that's okay. And I don't think, like, if he needs to have a good relationship with his boss, that's not on his wife. And I don't think it has to be. And that's where he needs to communicate with his wife, like, listen, if I have to obtain a certain relationship with my boss, that's not your responsibility. That's mine. And,
Thanks for trying all these years, but we're good.
Yeah, don't try to make it something you have to do. That's not your burden. That's mine.
I think, what if this boss's wife is gaslighting her? What if she's like acting like, what if she's saying like, oh, I love you so much, like, yeah, this is great, and like they're engaging in conversation and having a really good time, but then like once she walks away, she's like, from that stupid Becky over there talking about, I don't know,
shit,
window tassels or whatever.
Pooping in bags.
Yeah. I can't believe her. Blah, blah, blah. So I also got, because maybe this guy's wife is just like, it seems like she's really putting in some effort. You know, she has some sort of sociability with people, or some sort of desire to be social and be a nice person or whatever, and is engaging with this wife. Like, she goes back every time and seems to have no idea why the boss wouldn't like her. You know what I mean? Because that's always seems to be like the person that she goes to is the boss's wife every time. And
Sometimes people in general have a hard time grasping with the fact that somebody doesn't like them especially when they're a likable person, right?
I wonder if she's hot, like the wife's hot.
Maybe.
I would hope so.
Like, she's hot and the boss's wife's not hot. Like, that's important, you know.
That's a huge thing
If the boss's wife's like super hot and the other wife's not hot, that's important too.
So sometimes if a likable person, right, is gonna try to be liked by somebody that just simply doesn't like them, they're gonna try extra hard because they know they should be liked because they're likable.
What?
And I think that could be a situation here.
Well, I think
you know?
I think it goes back to the not lying right off the start, because I mean, think about it. You try not to hurt people's feelings too. Well, maybe you don't. Maybe you don't personally, or you guys don't personally, but it's like almost a natural reaction, especially someone you care about. So if you go to the holiday party the first time, she chats up the boss's wife. She's like, it was a great time. The husband was like, oh, it was a great time. Then he goes to work the next day and they're like, wow, your wife is annoying as fuck. And then he comes home and she's like, so what did everyone say about the party? You know, did they like me?
Yep.
What are you going to say? No, they thought you were fucking annoying. I mean, I guess you could.
No, I think there's ways to say things, right? So number one, in my opinion, and just in my experience, you gotta be honest, even if it hurts a little bit of feelings. But the way you deliver news to that is never in a way that makes them feel like they are in the wrong. Because as your partner, as your significant other, like, most of the time, I don't view that as her in the wrong either. Mm-hmm. You know, but like, if somebody doesn't like somebody, that's not necessarily on her. It's maybe on them, for a certain reason or whatever. But you can't lie. I think truth is number one.
But I think that's where it starts, is the guy probably lied to his wife initially, like, these people liked you, and then the more years that they've done it, and the more like unbearable it gets, he's like,
that's a huge blow.
That's a mount.
Right, because when he finally tells her.
Right.
Right, why didn't you
now
tell me
she's
right off the bat?
devastated.
Yeah.
She's fucking
hate you.
heartbroken.
I think the asshole is definitely
I
the
think
boss's wife. She ruined everything.
I'm gonna go with corporate America. I'm gonna say
would.
corporate America puts lots of people in these precarious situations over greed and their own like honor and integrity to find their own self-worth through money and jobs and promotions, and now all these people are struggling and working through these difficult and complex situations that humans were never really meant to deal with.
Humans are always going to feel power, right? Whether it's at a job or whether it's at another situation or whether it's on a softball team or whether it's whatever. And the person with the most power is always going to demand the most from everybody, right? This just happens to be a work environment, in my opinion. So what I would say the asshole would be him. And I don't think he's a major asshole. I just think he handled the situation wrong because his communication's bad with his wife. No matter what, you know, there's a lot of jobs in the world where you want to be on the good side of your boss. And I know they say there's a lot of ass kissing, which sucks, you know, and, you know, tell me a spot where the person with the most power in whatever situation, you want to go to a play school or you want to go to kindergarten, and the coolest kid in the sandbox or whatever, like, all the other kids are going to be like extra nice to him, right? It starts there. It starts everywhere. That's just what life is.
Have you guys ever been a boss?
Yes.
Have you ever been a
Not
boss
really.
and had friends you've worked with?
Yes.
It sucks. It sucks, right? Because at the end of the day, when you really get into it, if I'm your boss and we're friends, I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm going to ask you, right?
There's a big difference between like a boss and somebody that's just trying to like...
Look, if you're the boss on paper,
Yeah.
right? You work for the same company, and let's say you guys work for me, right? And then I work for the company. We all work for the same company. It sucks. I've seen people struggle with that where they want to have friends, but they almost get alienated because of the responsibility from the job.
And it's...
Right? Because you can't tell stuff to the boss. I'm going to be friends with you. I want to be cool with you, but you're also my boss, right? That's that fine line.
I think it's okay to kind of be, you know, not looking
A
as
decent
like...
human being?
Well,
Or
it's like if people work if people work underneath me as like a chain of command, right? Like I don't want them to work for me. They work for the same company I work with, and I just happen to be somebody that's like leading at a different level, right? And we're all working together, and that's just how that goes, you know. So it's like I don't think there's and that's terrible. Of like it's always a me versus them, and it doesn't have to be like that. No matter what position you're in, it's us versus our competition.
The task.
Yes, exactly.
It
and
is until it's your responsibility.
right? I mean, your response. It's about taking ownership too, and this is a totally different deal. But like the higher things go, the more you have to own, and the more you have to be accountable. True, but at the end of the day, it's a team.
I always thought shit
sure.
rolled downhill.
It does, 100%. I mean, you can take ownership all day long, but if you have
Right.
people below doing the work, like
Or maybe it goes in bags.
And stays in an attic.
It goes in litter and
But it always starts at the top.
yeah.
And that's the real driving force. of
corporate
this
America, I'm with you. It's the asshole
Corporate
here.
America's the asshole
stuff. I'm still going with the boss's wife.
And I will go with him.
with him.
Corporate America
sure.
wins this
I'm with
round.
him, too.
Well, unfortunately, fortunately for Reddit, we were all here today. I want to thank you guys all for coming and
And you said we're only doing 4 more of them?
maybe on the next episode we got to find maybe Easter or something like that. We'll do an Easter special.
Valentine's Day. I'm sure there's a lot of assholes on
Oh,
Valentine's Day.
might be good.
Valentine's Day would be good.
More
And
will be revealed.
you're a regular Don Juan, I've heard,
It's true.
or be at least back in your day.
Paul.
Can we-
Paul's the guy.
I mean, I don't want to have to confront my cat rapist on air.
I understand. That makes sense.
He learns from the best, though, I think.
True. Well, no, we got him like that. He's a real problem.
Well, I wish you the best of luck in that situation.
Thank you.
And thank you guys for joining us today. And all the people of Reddit, you guys are fucking welcome for this podcast and us letting you know that you're the asshole or not the asshole. And thank you to our one listener who repeatedly clicks play for us. You're the real MVP.
Keep
Thanks, Gary.
on tinging that piss in that jug, brother.
Ding.
Good night.